Derek for having me tonight. Derek's a brilliant poet, the book's brilliant, so please enjoy it because that's what we're here for. And I've been really looking forward to this book. It didn't disappoint me. But the first poem I'm going to do is written specially, and obviously it's called "Everything Rhymes with Orange." So this poem is called "Derek Dorange, the Poet That Changed the World." Now, I disputed it when Derek said everything rhymes with orange. But I went to bed and read the book, slept 8 hours, then when I awoke, the whole world had a different look. As if some magic had been wrought by the boy wizard, Harry Porringe. I turned on the radio. It was Radio 2, which is usually dreadfully boring. But they were playing Floringe and the Machine, doing a cover of Elton John classic "Orange Seems to Be the Hardest Word." And then the news came on. Prime Minister Boris Johnson was still navel-gazing. Brexiteers were still taking the piss. What caught my attention, though, was the showbiz and the sports news. There was something about a new Ed Spanley Kubrick movie being brought to us by the media of Dohren Stokes, starring Joan Corringe. Someone dying in Coronation Street, and Jose Mourinho turning down Nottingham Forest in order to manage Forest Greek Rovers, especially for Derek. So you see, Derek is a true visionary whose poetry changes the world. He is the boss. The Jaffa, if you like.
Oh, God.
If you buy his book, your future's bright. And if his sales target is ever reached, we could see even Dorange Trump impeached. Thank you very much. Right, language alert, because I am a potty mouth so-and-so sometimes. But I've mentioned I've mentioned Donald Trump, but I've mentioned Boris Johnson, so I couldn't go without doing special relationship. Bigoted bully, never fully compass mentis, we should worry. No Eisenhower, drunk on power, Trump Tower, golden shower. Backstabber, pussy grabber, king of senseless jibber jabber. Racist branding, hand-shanded, loser needs his brain expanded. Lucid moment, very fleeting, incoherent, childish tweeting. Worthless punk, piece of junk, bigly waste of daddy's spunk. Simpleton, moron, orange chump, total foxdog, Donald Trump. Boris Johnson, full of nonsense, idiot at party conference. Bally arsewipe, yikes and cripes, Jesus Christ on a Boris bike. Zip wire, pants on fire, serial cheat, habitual liar. Hair as scary as the Trump, Tory members took a dump. Loud disturbance, rumours rife, another night of domestic strife. Number 10 is in the bag, quite the place for a crafty shag with someone's wife. Oh, what a wag. Duplicitous, disgraceful, fucking toe rag. Thank you very much. Right, so obviously after that start, you need some serious poetry now. So this one's called Possibly Unsuitable Children's Stories. Humphrey, the chunky West Country monkey, had on comfy rompy pumpy with the grumpy numpty humpty dumpty. Andy Pandy was feeling randy, but Miranda Panda wasn't handy. He got turned down by sexy Sandy, who branded him a namby-pamby, so Anne Shandy was fine and dandy. SpongeBob SquarePants had some pants with a man from France. But the man from France started to rant, and at a glance produced a lance. Poor Bob cracked, capped his pants, and ended up in an ambulance. Postman Pat had a secret stash of lots of smack and crack and hash. He was a very brash chap who got into scraps when out on the lash, and only his cat knew he was EDL Fash Crash. Tom and Jerry got very merry on a bottle of sherry and jumped on a ferry to County Kerry. Tom felt a rumbling in his belly. Jerry's legs turned to jelly and they ended up in Peri Peri. Rupert the bear had a bit of a scare. He ripped himself open on a broken chair, and they tried to stuff him with Donald Trump's hair. But the look he gave, he said, "Don't you dare. I'd rather be dead than have any Trump in there." And Stormy Daniels agrees, to be fair. All children's heroes have an alternative story. Some full of glory, some pretty gory. What they never told you on Jack and Ori was Peppa Pig's grandma got shagged by a Tory. I'm a proper poem, Lee. Right. Okay, the next one is a shortened version of a poem that was originally about 6 minutes long. And it was going really well, everybody seemed to like it, surprisingly. And so I decided I needed to make it like 3 minutes for slams. So this is what you might call the 3-minute slam edit, or the match of the day edited highlights version, or the shit bits taken out version, or whatever you want to call it. And it's called the A to Z of animals. Aardvark appears ahead of absolutely all else, the apex of alphabetical arrangement. Some alternative animals are agitated, acrimonious, or even apoplectic, although a few are actually ambivalent. Conversely, cats are casually content because they can't comprehend or care about concepts categorising creatures as they carelessly claw chunks from the cuties of Clarissa. Dogs demand different definitions. Don't dare diss Dalmatians or Dobermans. Doing them down is downright dangerous. Dallying with disaster. Dicing with death. Don't do it. Foxes are furious, forever affiliated with fake facts. Thanks to that fascist fart's favourite fuckwittery flinging feast or fiction factory, Fox News. They feel fully fucked over by fate. Giraffes go gazing over gigantic gates, getting glimpses of gloriously gorgeous greenery. Grandma giraffes gasp and go gaga for glamorous Gary, the great ginormous gigolo of giraffedom. Impalas, iguanas, idle rhyme in iambic lines, in fact immensely incompatible. It's irrational imagining interspecies intercourse. Idiotic idea. Jellyfish just take joy in jeopardising enjoyment of jolly seaside jaunts. Jackass jerks. Geez, jellyfish just... Kangaroos can kick in a kerfuffle. Kevin was killed by a king-size kangaroo, keeled over after a kick in the knackers. Probably karma. Kevin was a knucklehead. Ocelots oscillate between outrageously obnoxious and out-and-out ordinary, only occasionally observably obvious. One once openly organised ocelot orgies in zoos near Oldham and Ormskirk. Q. Quagga, Quetzal, Quokka. Quite almighty, quite a quandary. Quality over quantity, quickly quashing Q. Squirrels are stupid. Cyril the squirrel sometimes seems sensible and says something silly, suggesting some sort of shortcoming in syntactical skills and substandard schooling. The trump. Tangerine textured tosspot. Totally tactless toxic tyrant. Timber brain, temper tantrum, trendsetter to the terrible twos. Trashy tramp. Upoopa epops. Upoopa, upoopa. Use super duper pooper scooper. Undeniably unique. Yaps of yesteryear yearned to learn to yodel. Yes, efforts yielded tiny yaps and yelps that travel yards, yet yaks are yet to yodel. Young yaks do yoga instead. Zebras are stripy, not zigzagged. Zoom in on Zelda driving a Zephyr zipping away from the zoo. Zelda's sister Zoe Zebra's on tail, catching Zeds. Zzz. Thank you very much. Right, now the next one is actually an older poem, and I've sort of rewritten it a little bit, but I want you to know it's not about me. I wrote it for a friend. And it's called Internet Dating. Dear Zeus, I need your help. I'm desperate not to be left on the shelf. It's all very well to play with yourself, but nookie is better for your mental health. Some say I'm a moose and a social recluse, and I know I tend to spit and slobber, and Quasimodo is considered hotter, but my wand has more magic than Harry Potter's. They say honesty is the best policy, and so I have to confess, I'm dying for a shag. Oh yes, I want love, or at least rumpy-pumpy. Don't care if she's shagged like Humpty Dumpty, he's a bit of a hag and irredeemably grumpy, or permanently pissed on whiskey or cider. Having a pulse, that's the decider. But I never get a sniff, you see. They look at me with fear and then disappear when they cop a whiff of me. So I decided to try dating sites in search of lasting paradise. I wouldn't join Match.com though. Don't look so pensive, it's way too expensive. And you know what they say, There must be something wrong with you if you have to pay. And I'd just been made bankrupt anyway. So instead, I pursued my wish by joining Plenty of Fish. And wowzers. Despite my BO and piss-down trousers, I got myself a date. Would it be the first of a spate? Would we even get to conjugate to negate the need to masturbate? But no, she lied to me. She wasn't a rich and sexy miss in search of a nuclear scientist at all. And I have to say, I was appalled. I could tolerate the moustache, but dishonesty bugs me. Why tell lies just because you're ugly? And yes, of course I'm a nuclear scientist, I just don't like to boast about it. And anyway, I may like poetry, but nagging all the time may rhyme with what I crave, but it's not what I had in mind. Not with the liar anyway. Dear Zeus, fat, ginger men get as lonely as hell. Please, find me a blind nymphomaniac with a poor sense of smell. Thank you. Well, the next one is brand new. Now, anybody that follows me on Facebook knows that at the moment I'm not particularly in love with social media. It's a necessary evil, especially for a performer who's looking for gigs and keeping an eye on, a promoter as well who's watching what's going on. So it's a necessary evil, but at the moment I hate it. It's just so full of shit. And internet trolls, I mean, what are they for? Why do they bother? So I was thinking, how can you counter an internet trolls? You can't argue with them. You can't win an argument with them. So I had this cunning plan, a bit like Baldrick, I suppose. So this is how to counter an internet troll. An internet troll is a damaged soul who can be compared to an arsehole, a back passage with no class in its message. It lacks wit and creates a stink when depositing shit. So, how does this angry anus think? It wants normal people's levels to sink to the level of the fuckwit and thrives on pointless, childish conflict. You can be there typing day and night. You can never win a fight with this pitifully vacuous bag of shite. It may be wrong, you may be right, but try as you might, you will never make it see the light. It delights in being a troglodyte, acting brave from inside its cave, so why play along with its games? We can smell one when it enters the fray. We know we can't win anyway, yet still we feel the need to engage. If you must have a say, can't simply sit on your hands because of your rage, confuse the crap out of it by committing nonsense to the page. See its confidence wane when you counter its claims with statements such as, my pants smell like a fish market in a heat wave, or my name is Jesus, just call me Dave. You will stop it in its tracks if you say, would you like to taste my earwax? My dog wants to be a lumberjack, or simply, poo bum, Willie, arse crack. Go on, why not give it a try? The moon is my alibi, there's an elephant's footprint in my eye. I found Christ's toenails in my butter. I had Brian Blessed's beard for my supper. I've got a rip-snorting fart brewing. It makes much more sense than arguing. Thank you. Well, I've got two more, I think. Yeah, two more. The first one is being weird, as I am. I mean, all poets are weird, it's the law. So I am a bit weird. And I like to imagine what would happen if every time you saw a typo, either in the newspaper or a magazine or online or anywhere, the world sort of magically changed so that typo became fact. Now, I suppose the prototype for that will be Jeremy Hunt. I mean, he was called one so many times it became one, So this is a rather random take on what would happen if every single type mistake changed the world to fit its template. If one letter omitted or added, any others changed or out of place had a consequence for the human race. For example, Art Carbuncle singing I Only Have Ease For You may not endear him to the Tory party when most prefer Weed or Charlie, yet he was partly responsible for the sound of violence. Here's to you, Mrs. Robinsod, and Bridge over troubled water. His weirdness never seemed to falter. Now, I don't know why Walter is troubled or even who he is, but it seems somewhat harsh to stick him under a bridge. And Stormzy could mention that Buck Boris. We could have the GGs made up of Barry, Robin and Morris. we would have criminal Spice Girls called Felony B and Felony C. And that's not all. Kids would hear Humpty Dumpty shat on the wall. There will be a black country killer called the Boston Strangler. And Gordon Brown is a song by the Danglers. A bit of hard work never hurt anyone, though this, I doubt, one over the head and your lights will be out. A bird in the hand is worth two on the boss, I concede. A friend in need is a fiend indeed. Putin interfered in Trump's election and probably caused a nasty infection. I heard Harry Potter's Goblet of Fire appeared to be up for hire. How much? If you ever have to ask the prick, you can't afford it, Squire. Now, I think this poem is the dog's bollocks. Others will call it puppycock. But on one thing we can all agree. Too many cocks really do spoil the broth. Thank you very much. Well, the last one makes everything that's gone before look positively sane. So. Yeah, this is another one of my weird imaginings where the poetry police have banned the use of the letter P in poems. So it'll all become clear as it goes along. You have to replace the letter P with SH, like sh. But any natural word beginning with SH, obviously that gets confusing, so you have to replace that by blowing the raspberry. So this is what will happen if that was the case. It's called Taking the P. I thought if I came up with a good title, at least if the poem's crap, it doesn't matter, does it? So today, for some bizarre reason, there is a ban on the use in verse of the letter immediately before Q. They say using sh instead would do, with a real sh becoming a to avoid confusion. I was almost apoplectic with rage, but then I reached the compliance stage, embraced the concept and gave it a go. Though what she says to me, I'll never know. Shunny meant for failing to comply is a shoke in the eye with a particularly unpleasantly harsh, jointed stick, and any form of censor-ish makes me sick. I tried to write about wacky races and Chanel-ishy shitstock who drives the Comshack shitty cat, but that didn't turn out to be much cosh. And the showing about Showsman and Shat made me send a bit of a shrat. So then I thought of Sholatics, and in failures, arseholes and shrieks. And soon realised Cameron's Brexit gamble was about shower within his sharty. But at least he won't be remembered solely for being the Shrine Minister who sliced his shriek in the mouth of a sheep. Then I thought of my A to Z of Sholatics. But soon decided to give that a miss. Charlemagne Cherylised by a Sheridan Shrine Minister, consciously shook in slams, chandling to shish shots and schlunkers, promoting practically social shash shorts. Makes no sense, does it? But it's probably better than she to shish shit to check if she called Cheshires. So the rest of that can shish off too. But the whole ambles becomes really quite it, when you consider my granddad was sent down the sheet at a very young age and shade an absolute shittance. It grew up to be a bit of a shithead. No one was ever pleased to see him, especially after he contracted the shocks. Now, I think a bit of shit and sholly, this showing could be quite a conflict. Unless I mention how I slayed a violin better than Shaganini in his shrine. Talk about the charcuterie plans, or how I love Indian food, particularly shoshadons and shita bread. And one final thing. Sharks will fly if this showing ever gets schlagerised. And the schlagerist who makes this mistake will be Schenschlushon. Shoshi's clogs and meats and cheetah at the Shirley gates. Yeah, wouldn't that be a... Thank you very much.